Hey everybody, it's Andrew Martin coming to you with part 3 of Is It Sustainable? If you've been watching these videos, then you are ready for part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, I recommend that you stop this video, go watch part 1, think about it for a day or two, then watch part 2, and then come back to part 3, because these were designed to be progressive and to be a set of tools for your personal transformation. Everything that I do is based upon the idea of self-empowerment through spirit. My job and my intention is to get you to the point where you can consciously and actively create your own life, and to really master the self and take command of your life and begin to move towards the truth of who you are. We are all infinitely more powerful than we have ever been allowed to believe. And my job is to remind you of that and to really help you see the truth of who you are. So if you watched part 1, we began to ask ourselves the difficult question of, is it sustainable? Is the way that I feel, either in my entire life or specific parts of my life, is it sustainable? Can I continue to carry this feeling and this emotion for another year or 2 or 5 or 10? And then in part 2, I gave you some practical ways to begin to engage your life and to really begin the process of self-inquiry. Transformation and healing can never occur and will never be sustainable until we start the process of really honest self-inquiry and getting really, really real with ourselves about what we know we are ready to change, about what we know is not sustainable anymore, and doing whatever we can do to decide that it's time to move in that direction. This is your life. This is your life, and nobody else gets to tell you how to live it or what to do with it. So part 3 is about action. You know, quite honestly, life is very, very simple. When it comes right down to it, the key to a happy life is to consistently and constantly move in the direction of what feels the best for you in any given moment. And that's going to be relative. Sometimes a move in the direction of the best feeling is a direction from really, really pissed to maybe just not so pissed, right? It's not always about going from miserable to happy. It doesn't really work that way. There is an emotional scale and there is a progression and evolution. And I also know that the path of spirit and the path of the heart is not an easy path. You will be required at every single point, time and time again, to step across the threshold of your comfort zone. Source seeks expansion through experience. That's why we're here, to have an experience that has never been had before, to create a life that has never been created before. Who you are in this lifetime, in this moment right now, will never occur again in the same way. That's the whole point of it. In the entire collection of all of the experiences that have ever been and have ever occurred and are occurring now and ever will occur, there is never going to be another moment like you right here in this moment right now. So understanding that it never ends, it's eternal and it's infinite, allows you to kind of relax a little bit. The whole process, the whole point of it is the journey. That's why you came here, to learn how to master the self. The path of spirituality is not about eliminating chaos. It is about learning how to find balance and equilibrium within the chaos. And once you master the self, it doesn't matter what's going on around you, because once you have found that connection to the true self, and once you begin to trust it and learn how to speak the language of self, that changes everything. And nobody can ever knock you out of that place of alignment, and you learn how to surf the waves of life, because it's going to be up and it's going to be down and it's going to be up and down, and that's the way it is. And it doesn't matter if it's up or if it's down, and you learn to see that all of it serves you in some way, that all of it serves the growth and evolution of your soul. So the way to begin to actively create change in your life is to actively begin to do things that you've never done before. Move in the direction of your discomfort. For some of you, that's going to be as simple as taking up a creative pursuit. Paint, write, draw, photograph, bake, sculpt, dance, act, improv, anything that engages the body in any way so that the left brain has something to focus on from a logical, rational task perspective, that also allows the right brain to open up and to receive the creative inspiration and the muse, so to speak, and the spark of the divine in the form of an inspiration. magical things begin to happen. And when we allow ourselves to just create for the sake of creating without thinking that it has to be, because I took a painting class, now I have to be a painter, or because I took a photography class, now I have to be a photographer. That very well may be the direction that you move in, but at first it's about just getting out there and trying something new that you've never tried before, to show yourself that it's possible, to show the part of you inside of you that has that fear-based voice that says, don't do it, you're going to fail, and they're all going to laugh at you, to show it that it's not right, to show yourself that that voice is an illusion and it's a lie, that it's not true. The voice inside of you that tells you that you are unworthy and that you cannot do it, at some point you must decide that that voice is wrong. And really the only way that you're going to do it is by taking deliberate action to show it through your example that it is wrong. So create for the sake of creating, and whatever that means for you, find a way to do it. Moving in the direction of your discomfort may also mean having a conversation with someone that you've been wanting to have or meaning to have, expressing to them the things that you've been wanting to say to them, really opening up your heart and speaking from a place of truth, allowing yourself to be a little bit vulnerable, asking the questions, asking for help. Moving in the direction of discomfort oftentimes means that we have to be willing to open ourselves up and to be a little bit vulnerable and take an emotional risk in some way with the people that we love or the people that we feel like we need to say something to them. Moving in the direction of your discomfort may also mean that if you're in crisis or you feel like you're spiraling out of control with an addiction or a compulsion, that it's time to ask for help. There are endless resources for people who are feeling out of control in their own lives, and there are a million different ways that you can find help and support for that. Now, moving in the direction of your discomfort doesn't necessarily mean that you are putting yourself in danger or putting yourself in an experience or an environment that is unsafe. There's a difference. Allowing yourself to feel emotionally safe and allowing yourself to feel emotionally protected by allowing yourself to make the choices that you know feel right to you is important. I am not saying that you should take risks and put yourself in physical danger, but moving in the direction of your discomfort doesn't mean that you're in any danger. Moving in the direction of discomfort is merely stretching yourself a little bit beyond maybe where you have stretched before, pushing yourself just a little bit, so even if it's a hair's breadth across the previous threshold, that you're moving in the direction of something new. You've got to make new choices. You've got to make new decisions. You've got to begin to interrogate yourself from the level of, why is it that I make the choices that I make? Because here's the truth. The emotional experience, or the human experience, is one that we create from our emotions. Every single choice that you ever make in your life and that you will ever make in your life has an emotional underpinning and an emotional motivation. You do it because you want more of something, less of something, you want to change it, you want to control it, you want to transform it, you want to highlight it, you want to diminish it. Whatever it is that you choose, it's always from an emotional place. Sometimes it's conscious and it's healthy, sometimes it's unconscious and not so healthy, and that's an entirely different topic altogether. But it is very important that you begin to sit with yourself. Cultivating awareness and accessing stillness is crucial to your experience, and I talked about that in part 2. You've got to begin to connect and to tune in, to get real with yourself, get right with yourself, get aligned with yourself, and begin to listen to that little voice that's saying, you can do this. What about this? What if you did this? Are you sure you want to do that? Is that really what makes you happy? You can trust that voice. That voice is your ally. That voice knows exactly what you want and what you need to be happy, and it can help you get there if you trust it. Life really is quite simple. People always come to me asking for magical solutions and magical potions and magical tricks to transform their life, and I have a lot of those. I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of ways that I can help you transform your life, and if these 3 videos aren't enough for you, or if they've whetted your appetite and you feel like you need more, you can always book a session with me. But I promise you, the answer will always be, you are the one with the power. You are the one that gets to decide, and you are the one that has to be willing to show up and do the work. I hope that these 3 videos have helped you move in the direction of your truth, because when it comes right down to it, the simplest explanation is that in every single moment we are either moving away from our truth or towards it, and the only way we ever know is by how we feel. Thank you as always for watching. Check out my website. If you're interested, book a session with me. You'll see that at the top right-hand side of my website, there's also a donate button. If you don't want to book a session and you feel like my work has helped you and you feel like it's inspired you, then I would appreciate a donation. If not, I'm so happy that you found these videos. I wish you well. Thank you for watching. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.